It might sound weird, but traveling's a skill. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And for us, we made a lot of mistakes. So we're here to give you our advice, especially if you're a rookie traveler.
Yeah, there are a few things that we do before we go on our trip that maybe you don't think about, but we always think about now because we've had situations where it's backfired on us.
Yeah.
And the first of those things, I'll get into it,
Okay.
is having cellular service, right? At least data service wherever it is you're going,
Yep.
because it makes everything so much easier. Maybe you got to change plans last minute so you can look up what's near to me and, book a restaurant or something like that. Maybe you get a little lost somewhere, you've got Google Maps available to you, right? So we always look ahead to find which eSIM service is best, because we've used Nomad, we've used a Rollo. It all depends on where we're going, and because we cruise a lot, we quite often need a eSIM that covers multiple countries, right? We're not just going to one place and that's it. And in those situations, quite often you can just add an add-on to your existing cellular plan with your home provider.
Yeah.
But when you're like us and you're going on a cruise ship and you're going to like 4 different countries, you got to find something that covers all 4.
That's right.
And sometimes one service is a little bit better than the other. This time around, we'll be going with a Rollo. We'll cover that in another video or maybe on social media at some point.
Moving on, the next thing that we do in preparation is if we want to see like a high-end attraction that like is a very popular tourist attraction, I should say.
Like we're going to Rome next, we're going to Vatican museums.
Yeah, so if we were going to the Vatican, say on like maybe a Tuesday or a Wednesday, we probably would just buy tickets while we were there.
Yeah, but walk up and buy a ticket.
Yeah, we're actually going on the weekend, so we're already expecting it to be busy, so we are actually buying our tickets ahead of time to save ourselves the hassle of the rush. And I think we're getting the fast track way in
fast track tickets.
Because I hate waiting in lines.
And some of the lines at the Vatican museums are hours long. Like they are very long.
Yeah.
So booking our tickets ahead to make sure we get access to the fast track tickets, it makes sense here. But like she said, if we were there on a Wednesday, we'd probably just walk up and take our chances.
Yeah.
But when you're going to be on a weekend, or if you're going to be there during a special event, right?
Or even like a March break or a summer holiday when you expect a lot more families and kids and everything like that, then you want to prep yourself to be able to get into these sites.
Yeah. So another thing that we do, like you kind of look ahead when it comes to preparing ourselves for the next trip, is we like to look ahead and see what the tipping policies are like where we're going.
Yep.
So we're going to be in Rome for like 3 days.
Bye, buddy.
So I had to look ahead to see, what's tipping like in Rome. And first off is, like many European countries, they have a service charge on a lot of their bills.
Yep.
There's a servizia.
Kind of the same as here.
Servizia charge, right? Which basically covers tipping.
Yeah.
So in those situations, if you see that charge, you don't tip. Realistically, the only places they even expect tips is at like high-end hotels or high-end restaurants where you're getting exceptional service. Then it's customary to leave like 10 to 15% extra as a tip. But for a basic restaurant or, with a cabbie or something like that, they don't expect much. Maybe it's just rounding up to the nearest euro.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something we always want to kind of figure out ahead of time, because if it's a culture where they expect tipping for everything, like for instance, we were in Thailand, you expect tipping for everything. In Vietnam, they expect tipping for everything. What we would do is we'd bring a stack of singles.
Yep.
Right? Just American dollars, euros, where it depends on where you're going.
Yep. But
just a stack of singles. That way, no matter what we did, we could always just sort of peel off a bill and give them a tip.
Well, even for us on cruise ships too, we always do that anyways, because I always like to tip certain people that take care of us on the ships as well. So it's always good to have, and always good to kind of prep yourself for that kind of a situation.
Yeah, but a lot of people would take the opinion that no matter where you go, just be a good person and tip. But if you go to the wrong place and tip, it's almost an insult if you do it. It comes off as being arrogant, right? So always look ahead, always check out what the tipping policies are to wherever you're going.
Yeah. And then the last one is how to get around in the city. So we are going to Rome, and we're going to be there a couple days ahead before we go on our cruise. And then we looked into, Uber, Grab, like whatever they use. And for Rome, they only offer Uber Black. Now, Uber Black is the high end
It's
Uber.
like the limo Uber.
Right. And we kept looking into it and being like, well, how come they don't offer like Uber X or rideshare programs? And it's because their licensing fees to be an Uber driver in Rome are extremely high.
Very high.
Very high. So they only offer Uber Black. So that's something you might want to keep in mind as well. That it will be a little bit more expensive if you're going to be taking
whatever
Uber
we're
around.
used to paying here with Uber X, we're probably going to pay double there.
Yeah.
But it's still one of the safest, most convenient ways to get around any city because they pick you up wherever you're at. You know exactly how much it's going to be before you even get in.
Yeah.
And you know roughly how long it's going to take to get to wherever you're going.
Especially if there's like that language barrier too, right?
Yep.
Because you know, as much as you would like to negotiate and they'll speak maybe a little bit of English, like it might not be great. And then by the time you get to your destination, it might cause a problem in like say a regular taxi. So just keep that in mind when you're booking for an Uber or a taxi. Uber tends to be a little bit safer.
Yeah, so for like this next trip in particular, when we're talking about Rome here, we're going to use a Rolo because it covers Rome, but it also covers the additional locations we're going to on the cruise.
Yep.
We're going to be booking the Vatican Museum tour ahead of time because we're going to be doing it on, I believe, the Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So we're booking that ahead of time. We've already planned on using Uber while we're there because it's the safest and most convenient way to get from A to B if we plan on doing anything outside of the regular stuff we've already booked.
Yeah.
Right? And we know for a fact that for the most part, we're just going to look at each bill that we get, and if it doesn't say Servizio on it, just roll it up to the next euro and we're good.
Yeah.
Right? So having all these things in the back of your mind already saves a lot of headache when you're there.
Yeah.
In the moment when, you know, you go to pay for something and realize, wait, should we tip?
Yeah,
How much
you
should
don't
we
really
tip?
want to be like Googling it on your phone and be like, should I tip in Rome? Or just automatically tip and then they'll just give you a face.
Yeah.
Right? They won't be rude, but they'll give you a face.
Right? Showing up to the Vatican Museums and we see a 2-hour long line and there is no skip the line tickets.
Yeah.
Like, these are things you don't want to happen.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to happen. And you don't want to go somewhere thinking, oh, we'll just Uber everywhere, and then find out when you're there that, you know, a 10-minute ride is going to cost you 25 euro, right? Because they only have the Uber Black.
Right.
So all these things will factor into our next trip, and because we're prepared for it, it's going to go smoothly and there'll be no surprises.
And we're excited.
We're really excited. So these are things that you should think about the next time you're planning on going somewhere. Maybe it's not something you'd normally consider, but if you go down this checklist like a good month before you leave, it makes everything so much smoother.
Yeah. The last thing you want to do is think about anything before you travel.
Yeah. So if you haven't yet,
like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos.
and if you really want to give back, consider becoming a member. We've got the join link in the description. Also, for any of you interested in some of the stuff that we sell, some of the products that we get to promote on this particular channel, do yourself a solid, look in the description. There's a link to join the email list, and that lists off everything that we end up selling at discounts to our followers and our subscribers and others like you.
And we're not going to spam you.
Yeah, there's no spamming.
We're
As long
not-
as we have something for sale, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Till next time.
Till next time.
Bye.